Yo, what's up YouTube? Back with another reaction video. Today we got 6 Men in Therapy versus one fake Jubilee video. Now there is nothing wrong with therapy. I just want to let that be known from the beginning of the video. Nothing wrong at all. I think more people should go to therapy. Everyone doesn't need it. It's not necessary because people have different ways of coping with different things. The healthier ways is what I'm referring to. Like if you have some unhealthy methods, then maybe you should change and go to therapy or consider it. But there's nothing wrong with it at all. People think, oh, if I'm going to therapy, there's something wrong with me. No, not at all. You're just seeking help, trying to get through your problems. And sometimes you're not even seeking help. You just need someone to let it all out to. And men especially have that issue, especially colored men. But all that aside, man, I'm about to get into the video, and you can't really tell. Like, how you want to tell who in therapy and who's not? Maybe the sessions. Maybe they'll talk about the sessions. Who knows? Let's get into it, man.
I am in therapy.
I am in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I'm in therapy.
I am in therapy.
All right, let's talk about trauma.
Are we trauma dumping?
Let's dive right into it. What if we started like this? What if we all talk about maybe when we started therapy, how many therapists we've seen probably, and then can we end it with something that we're grateful for?
Sure.
I love these are regulars.
My name's Franco. I've been in therapy for about a year and a half. I'm grateful to just be a better communicator just because of it. You know, just able to talk properly, not just throwing my emotions out.
I've been in therapy since 2019, which would be sophomore year for me in high school. I've actually only had one, and I feel really, really lucky for that. But my dad is a therapist, and my mom is like a counselor, and so they were able to find me a therapist in sophomore year.
I was a little suspicious because like, oh, his parents are therapists. As a natural young man, you're rebellious against your parents. That would already make me not like therapy at all.
I've been going to therapy for about 4 years now.
It depends.
I think the beautiful thing about therapy is like you have the option to choose what's best suited for you. You shouldn't just like give up on it. And right now I'm currently working with a therapist. We talk every Wednesday and it's been like phenomenal. We've been...
And that's another thing. I don't know what he's saying. Like, your therapy session consists of what you want it to consist of. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to get off your chest, whatever you want them to help you with, whatever guidance you want from them. It's all up to you. Like, it's not a set thing. Okay, sit down and I'm going to talk. Or sit down and you talk about this. Or sit down and don't talk about... Like, you good. Even if there's nothing wrong. Talk about nothing being wrong. Talk about the good stuff. I know I'm a little chatty and stuff, but I really feel like therapy is looked at in a bad way. It's under a bad light, I think.
We each other for almost a year now. I love it.
I'm Cameron. I've been doing therapy for about 2 years. I went through two. One was a school therapist, and so I found another therapist outside of school.
School?
He's been fantastic, so I've been working with him for about 2 years.
I'm Marcus. I've been going to therapy now officially, I'd say a little over 9 months. So it's still new-ish.
It's an easy excuse for a mole to be like, I've only been in therapy for not that long, so I might not have all the terminology or the ability and the skills to express myself and have the conversation.
I'm Vet, and I've been in therapy for 6 months now. I'm on my first therapist, and things have been going great. The thing that I was looking for was a gay man of color, just because they have that. They just understand the culture and kind of what we've all been through.
I'm Gerardo. I started therapy probably when I was in middle school, but it was very on and off. And I guess what I've struggled with is just, like you guys said, I think finding someone who could resonate with your life path is really what I'm looking for. And I think with my current therapist, you also have to put in the work and be honest. Like, I think that's a key thing too. Like, you can't, if you lie to your therapist, they can't help you. I'm realizing that part of it is putting in the work myself and being able to be honest with my therapist. And at first, we weren't really vibing, but we're starting to get each other now.
Hey good humans, it's John. We want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this portion of today's video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy. 5,000. All you need to put the right text check when it's pissed and off. BetterHelp. Yeah.
Only
Hey,
one
y'all tap
movie
in
has
with
got
BetterHelp.
everyone talking.
This is hot, blisteringly hot.
It's epic movie magic
I suppose that's fair.
and the wild ride you won't want to miss.
Oh, we got
Dungeons and Dragons special sneak preview this Sunday.
Two unskippables is actually crazy. How y'all day been going? Okay, back to the video.
Finding out that he has family that is in the therapy profession, I was like, that's a little convenient.
I came in here and I was like, all right, there's probably two strategies. If I was the mole, I would be either leading the conversation or really quiet. I'd probably do what he's doing if I was the mole.
What's wrong with this?
Actually have a tie.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
The tie is between Veth and Cirrus.
I started therapy to help me work through some traumatic experiences that I went through in early high school. I believe the type of therapy that my therapist specializes in is called narrative therapy. He has me kind of walk through my experiences that I went through, and then he helps me like shift my perspective on them away from, wow, this was this horrible thing that happened to me, specifically with dealing with things that happened in early high school. And I've been seeing him for 2.5 years,
So since starting therapy, I've learned a bunch of different coping mechanisms. One of the things that brought me into therapy was abusing alcohol, and I'm going through kind of just the very beginning stages of learning different mental disorders like ADHD and starting to work with psychiatrists and everything.
I low-key think it's the dude with the choker. That's my early video prediction. But that's not even a choker, that's just a jacket. Like this dude over here,
therapy.
When it looks like a rock star.
So, around 2016, there was a motorcycle accident that took the life of one of my closest friends from the Marine Corps. Obviously, with the military, that's prolonged use of alcohol, so like that's never an easy thing to deal with. I was like, okay, if I don't get help now, I'm about to self-sabotage and literally, like, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah, so I went about 2 years ago. I started going.
It might be him
started
too.
off with like I got out of a relationship that was pretty. It shouldn't have been really brutal, but it really was brutal on me. And then I realized that all the relationships around me were the same as that, and so they're all hollow. And so I realized I was looking at other people to get value from them.
As men too, I don't know how you guys feel, but it's kind of taught that we're not supposed to feel, and then we learn how to suppress our emotions. I always thought I was a people pleaser, but I know I've also hurt people. I have a substance abuse problem, and I like to say hurt people, but healed people, heal people.
He sounded so scripted, not saying that what he says wasn't genuine, but it just sounded so rehearsed
hurt people,
that I was like, okay, that might be something.
Is it not?
I definitely agree.
I wouldn't say
you,
cliche,
you know, especially like in
that's the
black
same.
culture. You know, it's a stigma for us to just even talk about like our emotions. Like we mask a lot of our emotions in humor because that's just how like we talk about stuff. But you know, especially myself being military, it's like I got like 3 whammies against me. It's like military, black man. Yeah, we need to talk about the stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
He seemed too animated. Like maybe he was trying to convince me that he's not the mole.
I think Franco is the mole.
That's okay.
Alright, y'all, I'm back. It was a fire alarm. Nothing I could really do about that. And for how long it took for me to actually get back to this video, like it's insane. I had to go to like class and everything. Come back. But I wanted to finish this video. I didn't really want to just scrap it. So, be back. Let's get back into it.
Continue the game. Raise your hand. Still in the box and you'd like to continue the game, raise your hand.
Statistic.
Right. Yeah.
Going back to the aspect of being a people pleaser, like at a certain point, I kind of lost what my identity was.
Bro.
And so I was just like, I would kind of blend into whatever anybody needed at that point
You
in
don't
time.
even see that.
Yeah.
It's so hard to
Yeah,
see.
and so I just wasn't processing that I wasn't looking after myself at all or what I wanted. Like I thought, oh, you know, got to get married, have kids, because that's what you do. And then I like asked myself, why do I want that? And it's like, oh, because my parents did that.
That could potentially be a strategy too, is kind of lost in the noise type attitude. So I was like, okay, if I was a mole, that could be easy to find a lie in there.
I feel you 100% on that. I'm in my 30s, haven't held a relationship down for X amount of time. It's like, and my parents never pressured me to get married or have children. I always put the pressure on myself. Never. So like even just trying to deal with that when therapy is like something to talk about right now.
I resonate so heavily with what you're saying about being whoever you need to be for the people around you. That's been the biggest thing for me lately, is figuring out how to put my own needs first. So hard. So
it's exhausting.
They become a pillar of your life, and then that pillar gets ripped
If
out.
it's not
and then
Red Shirt,
you know,
with a rock star, I'd be so surprised.
I noticed
Like,
as our therapy session was going along, he kind of pulled back.
Honestly, at that point, I was just grasping for straws. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But it's so hard. Like, how can you really tell if someone's been in therapy?
All right, boys.
I think it's more of who seems like they're lying.
If you think the mole is still in the box and you want to continue the game, raise your hand.
I really
Was that a
I
raise?
think we got
I
it.
I think you got it.
I guess I feel like we got the person out,
Okay.
but like, yeah, I feel like,
And I can let it go.
yeah.
I feel like I trust all of your stories, and I relate to all your stories a lot.
Same.
All right. Cool.
So we decided we're going to end it?
Yeah, you can call it.
We're gonna end it.
If the lights turn green, that means that you have voted the mole out and you all win.
It's
If
about
the
to
lights
turn
turn
red.
red, that means the mole is still in the box and you lose. 3, 2,
Life is expensive.
Yo, bruh.
Tools don't have to be.
Hey,
That's why
yo.
over 40 million customers.
1.
This is why
Told y'all.
No, I trust too easily.
I told y'all.
Sometimes it's good to have trust issues. Go with your gut.
Will the mole reveal themselves in 3, 2, 1?
Oh, knew it.
I know.
Knew it.
I'm
I
so sorry.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
Sorry.
No. Your poker face is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
All right, look. I
So,
just use this.
almost everything I said
Actually,
is true.
it's almost
My whole story, everything. My parents are therapists. I have seen a therapist before.
My guess was that like once you said that your parents were therapists, that gave me sort of like a suspicion. I'm like, maybe he just knows certain terminologies because he
It
grew up in a
definitely helped.
household.
It definitely
had
helped.
to.
Yeah,
It
and
had to.
I really appreciate all the conversations we had though. I felt like
No,
this was really awesome.
If we're gonna like, it's lighthearted, it's fun. If we're gonna take anything from this, is that like, you know what, like men can be vulnerable and can share and like and not at one point in time that I feel judged or chastised for anything that I say.
Why do you think some men are still hesitant to go to therapy?
I'm a huge proponent for therapy for everyone. I think it's really important for a lot of people, and I think it is a really helpful resource. And I think we need to work to destigmatize it.
I'd say one last thing.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
Facts.
Because I feel like I have a responsibility to use this platform. And I also, with the story I was telling you about with the gentleman that died in the motorcycle accident, I actually keep a bracelet with his name on here. His name's Lance Corporal Malik Andre Baxter. So I gotta, take this time to send my love to his family and to all the people in my old unit who have either taken their lives or have lost their lives through unfortunate circumstances. So this is for you guys.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's tough. Didn't see that coming. Did not see that coming. But again, and like I said at the beginning, it's very hard. How are you gonna tell someone's been in therapy? It's literally just, do you think they're lying? Or do you think they're telling the truth? Who knows? I guess he was a pretty good liar. I didn't really see it coming. You gotta have to know someone to see if they're lying or not, if that's really just how they act. But I don't know. I think it was a good video. Had a lot of gems dropped in it. Go to therapy if you need it. Find your outlet, whatever you need to do to get it all out. But other than that, man, that's going to end up this reaction video. I'm not going to say like, comment, share, or subscribe. Because if you're all rock me, y'all going to do that anyway. and I'm going.